Hi guys, thanks for visiting my channel Free Your Finance. My name's Gary and I'm documenting my journey towards financial independence. I talk about investing, property and savings, so if this sounds like something you may be interested in hearing more about, please click the subscribe button below. So today I have Dinesh joining me on the show. He has developed a new app that helps you track how long it's going to be until you will reach financial independence. As someone that loves the analytical side of things, I'm really excited to find out what the app can offer, so I hope you enjoy today's conversation. Hi guys, today we've got Dinesh joining us. He's going to be sharing his new app that helps you track your way towards financial independence. So Dinesh, do you mind doing a quick introduction and a bit of a background about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Dinesh, and I'm from London. So I went to Cambridge University to study engineering because I really wanted to find an answer to the question, how could we sort of stop climate change? And to be frank with you, I didn't really find an answer, but I found a really great way to make my money work for me. So I sort of learned about investing and finance. And I learned a lot from my parents as well. So my parents retired in their 40s.
Oh wow.
So I learned a lot from them. So I did that for a few years, and then I worked as an engineer on Europe's largest infrastructure project. I can't, unfortunately, tell you what the project was.
I was wondering.
It's obvious, I'm sure you can guess it. And then I kind of went to work as a project manager in that field. And it was only in the workplace that I kind of get a sense of how sort of unhappy people were in their jobs, which was quite sad to see. And I think the underlying reason for that was they felt that they weren't able to sustain their standard of living without having to continuously work.
Yeah.
But because I knew about FIRE and I knew about investing, I actually realized that they could actually live on a fraction of their salary and become financially independent a lot earlier.
Mm.
What I found really great about that was, and what I honestly didn't see coming, was it linked back to the climate change question. So by living on less, you're able to sort of reduce your wasteful income. So you're able to reduce your wasteful sort of consumption.
Mm.
And that's all that's needed to prevent the sort of the biggest environmental problems posed today. So that's a little bit about me and my motivation in a nutshell.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. So the very first question I wanted to sort of cover was what were your reasons for deciding an app was required to help people towards financial independence?
Yeah, sure. So a few years ago, I entered a hackathon in London, which is essentially just like a competition in London. And it was hosted by an investment company called Robeco. So Robeco are a large Dutch investment company, and I think they invest £200 billion into the market. And they sort of set us the brief to create an investment app to encourage millennials to sort of start investing. So I thought that's a really great idea. I turned up to the hackathon and I looked around, and there were people from the big banks, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. I was like, oh God, what am I doing here? There were people with established startups. But I thought it was a really great idea. So I sort of pulled the team together at the hackathon, built sort of an app concept, and somehow ended up winning the competition,
Wow.
winning a bit of money. And so in the back of my mind, I always knew that there was a sort of a need for an investment app out there.
Yeah.
When I sort of got more and more interested in the whole sort of FIRE movement, I realized that there are no dedicated UK tools available for the average man to get involved in investing. You know, you have to learn a lot about sort of the stock market, sort of saving. It's really unnatural for a lot of people. So an app seemed like a really obvious fit for the market, really.
Yeah, definitely. You've made some really valid points there. Firstly, with regards to, there's not a lot of on the UK market right now about FIRE, is there? You do your research and you find so much information from the US-based side of things, and you hear about these US-based funds and all these different US-based bloggers and YouTubers, but there isn't a whole lot of information to us here based in the UK. And then the question that sort of led from what you've just said, I know today's video is all about the app, and I definitely want to find out all about that because I'm really excited to hear about it myself. But could you just tell us a tiny bit more about your journey so far towards FIRE? Is it something you've recently found? Is it something you've always been frugal?
Yeah, I mean, my parents sort of immigrated to this country in the 60s and grew up here. So they kind of had that sort of immigrant mentality of sort of saving and investing and being frugal. And they were lucky enough to sort of become financially independent in their 40s. So frugality was kind of hammered into us from an early age. And as I got older, I learned about investing and saving. And I kind of thought it was normal for parents to do this when I was younger. And then I kind of looked around and I realized, well, a lot of our family friends who were highly qualified were forced into sort of, jobs that were they were overqualified for just to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, this is like a real issue. So I mean, at the moment, I'm still in my 20s, even though I'm sure I look a lot older. I'm sort of, trying to stay true to the process. I'm saving and investing really heavily. I hope to sort of buy my own house in the next few years and settle down. Yeah, I'm hoping to also retire in my 40s, fingers crossed.
Brilliant. That sounds like such an incredible journey, and your parents sound like truly inspirational people, to be honest with you, to be able to sort of move to this country and retire in their 40s. I think that's truly incredible. They must be people that you're very, very proud of. I know how proud I am of my parents, so I can imagine how proud you are of yours. So moving on, the next question I wanted to ask was, can you tell us a little bit more about the app? I've been really looking forward to hearing this answer myself.
Yeah, sure. Shall I just share my screen quickly?
That'd be amazing if you can. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is the Stocky Squirrel App, and we wanted to make it really simple and easy to use. So this page here gives you sort of a quick demo on how to use the app, but we won't go into that. I can show you how it works now. So we have the sort of investment page here. So we know how sort of confusing and daunting investing can seem to the average layperson. So we created a really simple, comprehensive guide to help people set up a stocks and shares ISA with Vanguard, which I'm sure you're aware of.
Yeah.
And you can sort of choose your plan. And I've sort of put sort of 5 sort of strategies here based on sort of people's personalized risk tolerance. So, for example, if your retirement is more than 10 years away, we recommend investing in sort of 100% equities in like a global sort of index tracker, which I know you're familiar with.
Yeah.
So once you've opened a sort of stocks and shares ISA, you're able to sort of create a budget. So what I have here is sort of 7 preset categories. So housing, transport, food, entertainment, clothing, debt payments, and other. So if you go into transport, we've got tips here on how to lower your expenses based on sort of FI principles. Mm-hmm. So I've said here, a good way to cut down on transport expenses is to walk or cycle more. If you need to drive, you can't go wrong with a used Japanese car, which you pay for in cash under 5,000. Consider working closer to home. This will save you thousands per year and will increase your health and well-being. And we hope we can sort of flesh this out and make this more and more comprehensive as we develop the app further. So you've got this like lovely pie chart here, which shows you a breakdown of your budget. Mm-hmm. So we can edit our budget here. So let's say, for example, the average person probably spends, £400 on a monthly car payment, which is surprisingly quite common.
Yeah.
So if we enter that in here, so I've set these categories up already with some information. So you can go in the salaries tab and you can enter your salary per month. This is after tax. If you make any sort of income through side hustles, you can enter that information here. And the cool thing is, it sort of predicts your financial future based upon the information you just entered.
That's incredible.
It will tell you your sort of years to financial independence, which is defined as having sort of 25 times your annual expenses. Yeah. And it's got a whole host of other useful information here, which you can kind of have a look at. And the footnote, I've sort of listed the assumptions of the model. And the really sort of cool thing, and this is what I play around with a lot, is you can play around with the budget. So if we go back to our transport sort of tab, and let's say we took the advice and swapped the monthly car payments for sort of a used economical Toyota. So we don't pay anything, let's just send that to 0 for simplicity. And if we go back to the forecast tab, we can actually see here the years to FI is 24. So immediately, without really sort of sacrificing our quality of life, we've taken, what is that, 15
years? Yeah, 39 years it was before.
Of our sort of working life, which is kind of remarkable, really. So you can see how this app is sort of encourages and incentivizes people to lower their expenses so they can reach financial independence a lot earlier. So that's the app in a nutshell. It's in its early stages at the moment, but yeah, we hope you like it.
I love it. I really do love it. And I mean this in the politest way possible, but it is so simple. It just looks so easy to use, And I love the fact that you can just fiddle with those amounts. and you can see the difference it's making on your life. What more
Yeah.
incentive do you need?
Yeah, exactly. I'm really glad you like it. I mean,
Oh, I love it.
at the moment.
I can imagine myself. I know what I'm like. I'm quite into analytics. So I could imagine myself playing around with the numbers and be like, what would happen if I save another £20 here and another £50 here, and just slowly seeing those years drop off until you are financially independent is truly
I mean,
sort
it's
of.
quite remarkable. Yeah,
It
it's
is.
quite remarkable how you can sort of make really small adjustments to your life without affecting your quality of life.
Yeah.
You can literally take decades of your life just by
Yeah.
sort of setting a bit here and there.
Yeah, it's the thing I can't get my head around is why we're encouraged just to spend our money. As soon as we earn it, we're encouraged to get the most expensive houses we can afford. We're encouraged to get the most expensive cars and stuff. And all it's doing us is keeping us in a job that often we don't enjoy anyway. It's just utter madness to me. But thank you for showing the app. I love it. I really do. The next question I had on my list was, who is your target audience for? I have a feeling this is going to be quite a broad question, and I'm sure it's going to have a broad answer, but I thought I'd put that to you.
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I mean, so our mission is to really make FI go mainstream. So I think the short answer is everybody really. And I think I know we have a retirement crisis in this country. People aren't sort of saving and investing enough to sort of stop working. And so I wanted to create a really compelling sort of product to encourage people and get people really excited about saving and investing more so they can reach financial independence a lot earlier in life. So everybody really, everyone who wants to take control of their financial future.
Yeah. And I would add to that is when I do speak to someone a bit older in life, they sort of say, oh, this doesn't apply to me, like it's too late for me. But you're right, you can make changes at any time in your life. And even if it saves you a year, 2 years, 3 years off work, we're still talking 3 years is a long time to not be having to work, and reaching financial independence that bit earlier. The next question I had, this was the first thing that come to my mind. The app sounds incredible. What do you get out of it? What are you, is it going to be monetized? How do you gain from this?
I should probably think more about how I'm going to monetize it, to be honest. But at the moment, it's still in the idea stage. We're sort of testing the idea, getting user feedback. But it would be absolutely amazing to somehow sort of turn this into a tech startup, maybe, as a real vehicle for change. But at the moment, I'm working. I'm doing this in my spare time, really.
That's absolutely awesome. And it's quite incredible how you've created such a simple app. You must be a very intelligent guy. The next question I had was, is the app available to download right now? Can we get our hands on it ourselves?
Well, at the moment, it's currently a web application, which I'm happy to share to your viewers. And so this enables two things. One, it enables me to rapidly prototype different ideas based on sort of user feedback. And two, I can sort of install it on sort of different platforms. But in the future, we do have plans to release it on sort of the App Store and Play Store, so people can sort of easily download it and sort of start playing around with it. But at the moment, it's still a web app, and I'm happy to share it with your viewers.
Yeah, please do, Dinesh. I'll be sharing the link to the web app, guys, in the description below. So please go and check it out and download it and have a play. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Dinesh. I can't praise you enough. I think it's incredible. I really do. Would you mind just giving 2 tips that you would give your younger self, knowing what you know now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first one is start investing as early as possible, because I think with investing, time is definitely your best friend. They say compound interest is the 8th wonder in the world or something.
Yeah.
I would also say, so don't feel like you have to keep up with the Joneses. Don't feel like you have to keep up with your friends. I know a lot of people I know sort of start working and immediately they buy a really fancy and expensive car, which I think is almost like committing financial suicide early on in life. Yeah. So I would say just sort of stay within your budget and keep the course, and you'll be sort of set for life, really. The earlier you start, the better.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your new app. I can't wait to see it develop. I'm sure it will be changing and ever changing. It sounds like you've got loads of ideas, and just again, thank you for coming on.
No, thanks for having me. I think what you're doing with this channel is actually really fantastic, and you're helping so many people. And if any of your users want to get involved in our user feedback program, I'm happy to sort of share my contact details, and we can sort of help FI go mainstream.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dinesh. Take care, mate.
Take care. Bye-bye.